We are at Mr. Sivaraman's house. He's the ex-revenue secretary and the and former executive director of the INF. And today is the 30th of December 2016. And I thought, who better a person than Mr. Sivaraman to give us his reflections about the defining moments for India and Tamil Nadu in particular. Thank you, Mr. Sivaraman, for agreeing to do this interview. My first question to you is, what do you think are the defining moments, like I said, defining moments for India and for Tamil Nadu in particular?
Defining moment for India is certainly the transformation change,
Yes.
which is going to come about on account of the demonetization of 500,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Because it has got long-term consequences on the economy of the country.
Okay.
For one,
Yes.
lot of illegal activities which were not being accounted for in our GDP will now
Yes.
come to the surface.
Yes.
Because people will realize
Yes.
it is not worthwhile
Okay.
doing it underground.
Okay.
And more or less, when once it becomes legitimate,
Yeah.
they also have a quiet night's sleep in the night.
Yeah.
Now, secondly,
Yes.
the importance of this is that when once
Yeah.
the GDP base widens,
Yeah.
then automatically it is going to increase the tax revenue of this country.
Okay.
Thirdly,
Yeah.
because the GDP goes up,
Yes.
India's ranking
Yes.
in the world order
Yeah.
would also go up.
Okay.
Today it is only $2.3 trillion,
Yeah.
and I'm reasonably certain it may go up to $3.3 trillion if all the underground economy were to be reckoned against the normal GDP of this country.
Okay.
As far as Tamil Nadu is, there is a lot of criticism
Yes.
about this demonetization.
Yes.
That is because nobody in this country wants a change.
Yes.
Because we are a country who
Yeah.
have been having a history of almost 5,000 years, and
Okay.
we don't like change very much. When there is a major change which comes into the way in which we transact business in this country, people normally resist.
Yeah.
Secondly, this no changing attitude has led to all kinds of corruption, all kinds of illegal activities, and people are very happy with that because they need not comply with law.
Yeah.
But now they have to comply with law.
Yeah.
We have to become a law-abiding nation.
Okay.
So that makes it a little difficult for many people
Yeah.
who have been adopting this chalta hai attitude.
Okay.
As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, of course, it is a passing away of Jayalalitha, who was an iconic figure for the state.
Yes.
And I personally feel
Yeah.
that this eventually will lead to some kind of a change
Okay.
in the way in which the Tamil Nadu government has been functioning so far.
Okay.
And in my opinion,
Yes.
personally, Tamil Nadu government has been hostile
Yes.
to everything that the government of India was doing.
Okay.
Now, number one,
Yes.
they were interested in promoting a large number of projects in Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Like, for example, the Magrav Oil Express project,
Okay.
Express highway project,
Yes.
which the previous chief minister stopped completely.
Can you expand a little bit on what this project is about?
This project is linking of the export processing zone in
Okay.
Magrav Oil to the Chennai port,
Okay.
which will cut down the distance and also reduce the time
Yeah.
from there to this transportation of goods and services for export
Yeah.
from the SEZ to Unnur port by almost 1.5 to 2 hours.
Okay.
And many companies which wanted to establish base there, they couldn't do so because of the problem of transporting material up to the port.
Yeah.
And the government of India had sanctioned this project, and they were to spend more than 1,200 crores. They had already spent 600-700 crores, and the former chief minister stopped it for
Okay.
some silly reason. As
Okay.
far as I am concerned, having been a senior government official, I can say it was a silly reason,
Okay.
downright silly reason.
Okay.
And with the result that the government of India or the NHAI suffered a loss of hundreds of crores.
Okay.
The government of Tamil Nadu lost export industries coming into the SEZ,
Yes.
and they lost also thousands of people getting employment on that corridor.
Okay.
So this was a big failure on the part of this government. The second failure has been that many contractors who wanted to do road work in Tamil Nadu on account of the national highway projects, they could not get quarries for
Okay.
metal,
Okay.
for widening the roads or for laying down new roads. They all ran away from here because they were all being put to a lot of hardships
Yes.
in getting all this material and all.
Okay.
So this has been, and thirdly, regarding the gas pipeline.
Yes.
The gas pipeline would have been a boom to Tamil Nadu.
From where to
From
where?
From I think Cochin to Bangalore,
Oh.
passing via Coimbatore, Erode, Salem and all. All these districts would have prospered. They would, and all these arguments.
So all these were shelved.
They were shelved. She
Yeah.
did not permit.
Okay.
And then secondly, it's all this argument the farmers will suffer. I don't think it is a correct thing.
Okay.
Because the farmers will not suffer at all.
Okay.
For the reason being,
Yeah.
the farmers will be able to
Yeah.
easily sow their crop.
Yeah.
Only with some restriction
Yeah.
that they need not they would not be allowed to plant
Yeah.
trees with deep roots.
Okay.
Whereas they can plant the normal crops.
Yeah.
There is no objection.
Yeah.
In several states this has been done. Even
Yes.
in Tamil Nadu, I think other oil companies have laid pipeline.
Yeah.
So these are all attitudes of hostility towards the central government projects,
Yeah.
which have cost the state dear.
Okay.
And on account of this, many people wanted to come to the state because it has got skilled labor,
Yeah.
good labor,
Yeah.
obedient labor,
Yeah.
very good facilities otherwise,
Yeah.
airport facilities, port facilities, road facilities. They were not willing to come here. They have all gone away to Madhya Pradesh or they have gone away to Andhra, Telangana and other places. Tamil Nadu has lost in terms of employment opportunities for its youth.
But now you
Now
feel...
I
yeah.
expect
Yeah.
things may slightly change.
Yes.
Because the attitude of hostility
Yes.
seems to be coming down.
Okay. Regarding Tamil Nadu politics, now there's a lot going on. Do you think it will stabilize and we'll have an administration
It is
that
very
works?
unfortunate
Yeah.
that while Tamil Nadu people were condemning dynasty
Yeah.
at the central level,
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu people were not very happy with
Yeah.
the way in which some of the parties in central government have functioned.
Yeah.
They themselves is having a dynasty, and this dynasty is a peculiar dynasty,
Yeah.
and that is what I am surprised at. They are not going in for proper elections in the party, a party which has been existing for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
They could have allowed a proper democratic process of electing a new leader, which
Yes.
they have not done.
Okay.
So this may not bode well
Yes.
for the stability of this party.
Yes. Do you foresee a time when if the administration doesn't work at all and maybe new fresh elections will be called?
I doubt very much because they have got a huge majority here,
Yeah.
and probably they will try their level best to ensure
Yeah.
that the party does not break up
Yeah.
or the government does not collapse.
Yeah. But, I hope, like you say, that some developmental activities will start taking place because I don't see it happening. I mean, it's like the metro project and all.
It is not
It's just-
happening right now
Yeah.
because I believe I spoke, some officers were mentioning to me that the Magrav Oil project has been cleared,
Yeah.
and probably also the project gas pipeline project,
Yeah.
which had been stalled,
Yeah.
and which the Supreme Court had cleared,
Yeah.
that may also go through.
Okay. Now let's go back to the demonetization issue. Since you've been Revenue Secretary and you've dealt with budgets and all, how would you have advised our Prime Minister to go about it if you were given the chance?
If I had been given the chance, I would have gone about it in a slightly different manner.
Yeah.
First of all, I would have ensured there were enough number of ATMs all over the country,
Okay.
particularly in the rural areas where people require liquid cash.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I would have advised the Prime Minister that we should stuff all these ATMs with 100 rupee notes,
Okay.
not 500 and 1000 rupee notes at all.
Okay.
Because thirdly, I would have advised the Prime Minister completely do away with 500 and 1000 rupee notes.
Okay.
No more higher denomination notes, only 100 rupee notes.
Yeah.
Because it is the higher denomination which is used for bribery and corruption.
Okay.
Because if you have 2000 rupee notes, it facilitates corruption.
Yeah.
Because you can carry a crore of rupees
Yeah.
in probably less number of briefcases. Then you would be required to carry 100 rupee notes if you have to give a crore in bribes.
Yeah.
Because they will have to carry it in suitcases,
Yeah.
which makes it inconvenient.
Yeah.
So this was a mistake.
Yeah.
Introducing a 2000 rupee, however much they were trying to justify that the price level has risen and all that, I don't buy that argument at all.
Yeah.
First of all, if you are going to make it a cashless economy, then stick to only 100 rupee note.
Yes.
Do not go beyond to 500 or 1000 rupee note or 2000 rupee note. And thirdly, I would have also advised him that first ensure
Yeah.
that in the rural areas where people use cash more,
Yeah.
cash is provided more in the rural areas and less in the urban areas. Because the urban area people are all accustomed to using cards.
Yeah.
People are all accustomed to going to the banks. Fourthly, they would not have, many people did not think about the ingenuity of the Indian criminal mind. Because many of the people have been employed
Yeah.
to go to the bank, put the money in their account, withdraw it through the ATM or withdraw it next day from the bank and get 200 rupees commission for getting these new notes.
Okay.
So it had become a racket.
Yes.
That racket could not have been foreseen or could have been foreseen. Maybe we could not have been able to take very effective measures against it. But still, I mean, nothing is lost.
Yeah.
People have suffered a bit. But nevertheless, I think most of the people have realized that it is better to do legitimate business, better to do cashless transaction rather than doing everything by way of cash.
Yeah, but how do you think the poor people who are illiterate and all will get used to this sort of
I am not prepared
cashless
to accept
account?
that Indian people are illiterate.
Yeah.
Almost 80% of the people have become literate.
Okay.
Almost 400 and 500 million people are having cell phones. I have seen a farmer using a cell phone from one place to operate his pump 100 kilometers away from where he was using the cell phone. So that kind of technology has spread to the people.
No, what about the places like in the northeast and all the interior
Northeast and
places?
all of them are educated.
Yeah, they're educated, but the other thing is